Welcome everyone. My name is Paul Stevers, and I'm going to introduce you to an opportunity to accelerate private sector investment in solutions that mitigate or adapt to climate change, or what we refer to as climate solutions. This opportunity has emerged thanks to the synergy created by several different developments that have occurred simultaneously. The first, and possibly the most important, is the significant increase in funding by private and public sectors for climate action. For example, members of the Glasgow Financial Alliance for Net Zero, which are comprised of financial organizations that have a combined total of over 130 trillion US dollars under management, have committed to net zero carbon emissions by 2050. In addition, there have been a substantial funding commitments by public institutions. For example, the World Bank indicated that it delivered a record of $31.7 billion in climate finance in their 2022 fiscal year. As well, the African Development Bank, or AFDB, pledged $6.5 billion to help countries in the Sahel region to fight desertification in early 2021. Around the same time, the International Fund for Agricultural Development, or IFAD, announced $500 million to channel climate finance to smallholder farmers. Supported by the United Nations Development Program, Ghana and Switzerland, as well as Vanuatu, have launched the world's first projects under the new carbon mechanism set out in Article 6.2 of the Paris Agreement. Some experts have indicated that this mechanism will likely lead to many billions of dollars of increased funding for climate action in Africa. Along with this increased concern by investors, there has been considerable development and growth of several initiatives that facilitate investment in climate solutions. These initiatives include online platforms, project facilitation services, project aggregation, and financial incentives. All these initiatives can be considered components of an ecosystem that can facilitate increased investment in climate solutions by investors concerned about climate change. One key component that is making this opportunity possible are online platforms, such as the Climate Investment Platform, the Energy Transition Accelerator Financing Platform, and Convergence Finance's Investment Platform. Platforms can facilitate connections between project developers and investors. Then a range of complementary services and financial incentives can be accessed to help move these projects forward. Another important component is project aggregation. Since very substantial sums of money are managed by large institutional investors that often do not have the administrative capacity to invest in smaller projects, aggregating smaller investments into larger ones is an important part of increasing investment in climate solutions. Fortunately, there are some large impact funds that perform this type of service. In addition, there have been considerable growth in organizations that provide project and business facilitation services over the last several years. They provide a critical service to project developers to help them develop bankable projects and obtain funding for them. Some of the organizations providing business facilitation services can be considered business accelerators or incubators. An example project facilitation service provider is the Private Financing Advisory Network, or PFAN for short. An example business facilitation service provider is the Ghana Climate Innovation Center. At the end of this presentation, I will share a link to a web page we created that provides a link to lists of many more business facilitation services. Lastly, there is a growing range of financial incentives becoming available for climate solutions from organizations such as the African Development Bank. These incentives help make investing in projects significantly more attractive to the private investor. You can view lists of these types of incentives on multiple online platforms, including the NDC Partnership's Climate Finance Explorer and the Terra Viva Grants Directory. Due to the growing awareness of the need for more action on climate change, new funding programs are being launched by various organizations. For example, the UNDP have launched their new Platform for Voluntary Bilateral Cooperation, which is based on the new carbon market mechanism set out in Article 6.2 of the Paris Agreement. Currently, only Ghana, Vanuatu, and Switzerland can launch projects through this platform, but is expected to expand to many more countries. There are several training and education services available that relate to climate finance and smart technologies. For example, there is the Climate Finance Accelerator, Nigeria, which is focused on finance. In addition, there is the Ghana Climate Innovation Center, which is more focused on advancing innovative climate solutions. If you're interested in sustainable agriculture, there's the West African Center for Water, Irrigation, and Sustainable Agriculture at the University of Development Studies in Ghana. As well, there is considerable online resources available. For example, as part of the Africa Climate Action Initiative, the Canada-Africa Partnership Network created several excellent training videos that are available on their YouTube channel. Since the cost of wind and solar energy has declined substantially over the last decade and is now often less expensive than energy generated from fossil fuels, one area of climate solutions that will likely receive the biggest increase in investment is in the renewable energy area. In order to attract funding from climate finance related sources, it is helpful to use technologies that can both generate profits and create significant impact. Fortunately, there have been considerable increase in the number of climate smart technologies that can do both. For example, you can reduce food waste through solar powered cold storage facilities. One company building and selling these systems in West Africa is called Tage. As well, you can purchase solar powered irrigation systems from companies such as SunCulture. Innovative solar powered microgrids are available from companies such as FlexGrid. One very cost-effective way to provide clean water to a community is through a water filter system that allows people to buy the water via their cell phone. One company that are selling these systems is called Sustech. Lastly, technology is now available that extracts moisture from air to be used as drinking water. It can be purchased from a company called Skywater. In conclusion, an opportunity to increase private sector investment in climate action has emerged due to several simultaneous new developments. The first and perhaps the most important development is a substantial increase in multi-billion US dollar funding commitments for climate action. These major funding commitments are enabling a growing range of financial incentives to become available to encourage private sector investment. Substantial decrease in costs of renewable energy technologies and increase in the range of available climate smart technologies are creating many new attractive investment opportunities. If you want to learn more about this opportunity, see climatesand.org/CFRA. The CFRA in this link is short for Climate Finance Resources Africa.